It doesn't happen often that the #1 StarCraft 2 player in the world is taking on the #2. What I've got for you today is a best-of-5 series of Terran versus Zerg. We're in the bottom right-hand corner, playing in red. We're looking inside of the main base of the world champion of StarCraft 2, who goes by the name of Serral, and his opponent, the previous world champion, playing right here in blue with the Terran pieces. We're looking inside of the main base of Clem. A best-of-5 series between the two very best players in the game right now. And honestly, the two players that have been impressing me the most for like the last 5+ years. These guys are absolute monsters. They have pretty much perfect macro, perfect micro. And whenever they play against each other, I mean, we're really playing a strategy game. I know that with a real-time strategy game being the genre of StarCraft 2, maybe that's a no-brainer, but really, StarCraft 2 is a game about speed, it's a game about execution, and really only when the execution and the speed becomes, well, near perfect, that is when strategy becomes so much more important. Now, of course, both of these guys, they have been playing against each other, well, quite a bit over the last few years. I mean, it's weird, right? Like, I would like to watch them play against each other more frequently. It kind of feels like they have played against each other quite a lot, but it's mostly because they've been playing very high-profile matches. So, for example, the finals back in 2024 of the World Championships, that was a match between these two. Clem ended up winning that one 5-0. 5-0 in the grand finals against Serral? That's the only time Serral has ever lost. I think a best-of-9 in general, but losing that many maps in a row is kind of ridiculous. The sad truth for Serral is that he has a winning record against everybody out there except Clem. Clem, over the last few years, has had his number. It is just, I guess, the micro, right, that Clem is capable of, and just the momentum that he has in his playstyle. It seems to be, yeah, something that even Serral is not capable of defending. So I haven't seen these games yet. I'm very excited for it. Was recently played over at Home Story Cup in Germany. So both of the players, they will have been able to look each other at, well, I guess they could look each other in the eye if they really wanted to. Serral, though, opening right here with a Roach Warren, hiding behind the Naturals mineral line. Clem has not seen it, but he has spotted the lack of a third base. It's a very quick lair on the back of this too. He's gonna get a glimpse of that right now. A couple of Hellions moving at the front. We've got now a third base maybe coming up as well for Serral, who may very well be losing a few drones here. Roachborn gets scouted, Lair gets scouted, and this really does give Clem, ooh, the full picture. Man, this is so much damage dealt. Drones themselves have decided that apparently they want to start nibbling away at some of those Terran units, but not really that great of a start here for the man from Finland. And I wonder, right? Like, we see Serral making these types of plays a lot against Clem. Maybe he's now kind of finding that spot where a lot of people, when they play against him, they feel like they have to pull off all of the weird tricks. I wonder if maybe Serral is now getting a similar vibe when he plays against Clem, because that is 8 drones going down, a delayed third base, a very quick lair, I suppose, so we can get an overseer out, but none of this really makes a ton of sense here for the Zerg player. He's getting link speed at the same time as he's getting roach speed. He's now getting additional gases, but he's not making an army to really go pushing with. So all of this is just a bit messy, and it doesn't really seem to lead anywhere. Like, kind of feels like we're reinventing the wheel. And so far, these wheels right here for Clem have been very efficient. Clem following this up with the cloaking upgrade on the Banshees. Overseer Scout, though, does see this coming in from a mile away. One of the nice things right here, though, for Serral is that since he didn't have a third hatchery until just now, he actually has had a lot more minerals available because of the lack of a base, but also because of less queens. He's had a lot of minerals here available to... Oh, well, Cloak still gets activated. To add on drones. So the worker count is not that disastrous. But this is still absolutely awful here for Serral. Oh, the Banshee even lives. Alright, now it's been a delayed third command center as well for Clem. Clem realized that his opponent didn't get a very fast third, so he wasn't really feeling like he could get away with one either. I think actually with a setup like this, he should have been okay with it, but he didn't know. And you can't really properly know exactly what the plan is with a 2-base lair opener like the one that we've seen, but It's a Cloak Banshee build here, just to be safe. When he realized he didn't really need the Banshees defensively, though, we're sending them out across the map. And so far in this game, Serral's just been getting... He's been getting trashed. He's going into a very quick burrow upgrade for the roaches. So wait, we went roach speed into 1-1 upgrades into burrow? Yeah. Tunneling Claws coming up. All right. A head scratcher of a build right here. I don't think that Clem is going to be caught off guard by any such place. We are arriving at 3-base saturation, though, here for the Zerg player eventually. Third command center, likewise, now flies down to the low ground. Barracks number 4 and 5 coming up right here for Clem, who's already finishing up the +1 attack. And he's actually the one going for a move out. Now, he needs to be careful that he doesn't move out straight into the roach push as well. Gonna go for a little bit of a scan over here at the bottom. I think it's fine, though. I think this is all okay for Clem. He needs to be careful that he doesn't get jumped on. The medevac count is not quite big enough to really send everything home. But Serral is effectively preparing here for a bit of an all-in of his own. So I guess fighting on creep would be the very best thing he could do. Sadly, though, it seems that, well, Clem is not really ready to commit to a big push. He's just fishing for freebies. We have a little hit squad of roaches in a slow overlord. A slow overlord. Moving into the main base. They will unload, and maybe they can cause a little bit of havoc, but that's only going to be a couple different points of action that Clem has to worry about. I don't think that's really going to be hurting him all too much. In the meantime, though, we do also have 4 roaches moving into the natural expansion. Tunneling clawed roaches, man. Are they really the ones that we are going to be dealing with? Big roach attack shoved across the map, too. We already have the roaches in the natural and the main base. Mostly taken care of here. Clem did, however, lose a bunch of units. And what about this at the front? He needs to see. He needs to see the black square. I think he sees it. No? Does he not notice? Oi, 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 oi. The siege tank will end up falling real quickly. We have a third siege tank now also biting the dust. Cute play here by Serral. It surprises me, though, that he even... look at the stutter step on that Hellion. It's accidentally on the same control group as the Marines, but it surprises me that Serral feels the necessity to pull off something as tricky as this. In the meantime, the natural has been cleaned up. The main base, yeah, also has been cleaned up. Now we have a bunch of roaches going to town over at third. What a strange opener for a best of 5. Okay. Now, as the dust is settling, I think Clem is fine. Like, yeah, he did take 14 SCVs worth of damage, but roaches and ravagers don't really scale too well deeper into the game. Once the 2-2 is done, Serral needs to switch into something else. You can't really continue down the line of roaches. Mass roach wars are, I guess, doable if both players are at a very low economy. But Clem is already at 3 bases. And Clem's army is going to scale way nicer as the game progresses. Now, this supply depot should probably be lifted. There is a missile turret, though, however, nearby. More roaches over here on the right as well. Looks like the siege tank is going to be able to roll down the ramp. Banshee goes around, tries his absolute best. Infestation pit right now coming up for Serral. So, looks to me like he wants to make the transition towards hive tech here eventually. He is going to max out, though, on mostly just a roach-based army momentarily. And I guess we're gonna go for a very large attack as soon as 2-2 is done. Now, likewise, Clem is preparing for an attack of his own, and this is Marine Marauder Siege Tank Medevac. I like this army so much better than the one on the right. Obviously, it needs to be controlled well, but yeah, no, this is perfectly fine. He does lose 1 Medevac right there to the Corrosive Biles, but none of the attacking units. I think the Siege Tanks aren't even really needed. Men with gun, pretty good. This is 2-2, by the way, finished. The double upgrades are still coming for Clem, but Clem feels like he doesn't even really need it. He is just dancing on all of these roaches and ravagers, and this is not working out whatsoever. I wonder if maybe Clem should have waited a moment for his own double upgrades to finish up. But he felt like he had an opportunity, and I think he turns out to be right. Ugh. What a strange opening match. So we opened with a 2-base Roach Ravager build. Now, by the way, Clem finishes up the +2 infantry weapons. Some reinforcing troops will take care right there of the run by roaches. Nice little snatch right there on the on the siege tank. Medevac indeed saves it. Yeah, now we're playing 3 base versus 3 base. That means that hive tech is off the table. It's not really something that Serral can really afford. But I don't think Clem is going to slow down at all. He's, as a matter of fact, just parade pushing straight through the middle. We saw that series that Serral played against Hero Marine. This is a very Hero Marine-esque playstyle right here for Clem as well. The delayed third command center, the heavy focus on Heli and Banshee, and then parade pushing straight through the middle. Oh, the Ravagers here, they're exposed. Yeah, GG gets cold. Clem just absolutely dominated Serral in game number 1. Next up, game number 2. We find ourselves on the map Winter Madness. Serral trying to pull a quick one on his opponent. Maybe inspired by the way that Hero likes to play Protoss, he decides to attempt to play Zerg in a similar way. But likewise, just like Hero, it works great against weaker opponents, but when you're playing against the literal #1 Terran on the planet, it doesn't seem to be nearly as efficient. Yeah, it's a little bit deceiving, right? Because if you look at the worker count, if you look at the upgrades, if you look at the supply count, I think all of it is fine for the Zerg. But it just is a unit style that really fizzles out over time. Like, we know, right? We've seen Marine Marauder medevac-based unit compositions for so long. We know how nicely it scales from the early game all the way until the late game. But it always feels to me that Roaches and Ravagers are on a timer. You have to, like, finish the game by, like, minute 8, because if you don't, they're just gonna fall off so hard. And that previous game was a great example. I think Clem would have dominated that fight on the other side of the map at the very end, even harder if he would have waited another half minute or so. He saw an opportunity, though, and he knew that he didn't really need those upgrades. He didn't really want to give the Zerg any more wiggle room than he had already given him, but it certainly, yeah, it certainly does feel like Roaches and Ravagers just don't work out that well. I will say, though, if you are thinking about giving StarCraft 2 a try, or maybe you're already playing the game and maybe you're struggling on the lower end of the ladder, or you want to try out a new unit composition, I do think Roach Ravager builds can carry you quite far. Like, you can definitely play Roach Ravager basically every game until, like, Diamond League. At that point, you may have to mix in other units as well, but you can go really far with pure Roach Ravager-based armies. Actually, a 2-base Roach Ravager opener with a quick lair like that is probably one of the best builds you can go for as a newer player. But there's a reason why it's not very common at the highest level. Anyways, now we're on Winter Madness, and Serral opens up with a very quick Zergling speed build. Most Zerg players delay their link speed on this map so they can get a faster third hatch. Right now, there is no third hatchery available that Serral can reliably take. The downside of Winter Madness, and why we see the drones usually pulled out of gas a little bit quicker for Zerg, is that there's only one viable third base location. So right now with, yeah, this drone desperately waiting and an SCV patrolling this base, Clem is doing a really good job keeping this Zerg player occupied. Can we throw a little grenade over here? Boop Brenda back some? Yep. Clem is a bully. Ultimately, though, the hatchery will be taken. It's gonna come at the cost of 1 creep tumor here. Oh. The SCV. No. Oh my god, he body blocked it. No way. Oh, Clem. You absolute gamer. He saves the SCV too? Ooh, that was hot. Sex is nice and all, but have you ever seen Clem micro a Reaper? Woo! Yeah, no, sent another one that way, man. This time around, Serral dodges. Ultimately, the base is taken, right? But this is a mental victory, if anything. Very, very significant micro there by Clem. Oh, get the creep tumor. If you get the creep tumor with the Hellion, oh god, no. Oh, well, he really wants to get the queen. Okay. In the meantime, by the way, on the other side of the map, Clem is opening with a very quick third command center this time around. So as the third CC already is getting an orbital command, the third hatchery isn't even done. So what did Serral get by getting a faster link speed? Well, he got metabolic boost down. So I guess he can send these links across the map. That's nice and all, but there's a reason why normally Zerg players pull the drones out of gas a little bit sooner and take the hatchery before the Reaper arrives. It is just so much more reliable. SCV block though, certainly working out nicely there for Clem. Clem moving into the natural expansion right now. Or, well, Serral moves into Clem's natural expansion. He wants to get the big units now. Aiming for a mule kill, not going to happen. Alright. Laris coming up. Man, I already kind of hate this spot for Serral. It's... Look, it's by no means a bad position. And if this was anything... If this was any other Terran player other than Clem, I would have been a lot more neutral about it. But it's just that I have seen Clem dispose of Serral's mid and late game. That's usually where Serral shines. And now certainly this early game has gone in favor of the Frenchman. So, mispositioned Ovi. It is going to get killed. Like, Clem is so momentum driven, right? Like, when he wins, he keeps winning. If he has, like, if he gets slowed down in the early game, if he has a poor start, usually that's when he finds himself with a much worse mid game and a much worse late game too. But this is a flying start right now for Clem. And the man rarely lets go. Barracks 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Serral does sneak into the base with a bunch of Zerglings. Those Hellions, though, from earlier are going to be able to be annoying. In the meantime, there is a push as well over at the 4th, and he does end up killing it. Cancel for Serral, at least, so he gets the majority of his money back. Overlord number 2 ends up going down. Supply blocking Serral. Let's do a little bit of first-person view. So this is what Clem is looking at. Are you excited yet? Are you not entertained? Yeah, this man's kind of fast. This isn't even his final form, though. Notice, by the way, how he has all of those units here, and this is a cute little play that Terrans usually like to go for, as he kills the base another time. Oh, Clem. I always like this little move. So if you make a wall off with Terran, usually, right, you want to be careful with getting Zerglings into your base. It's the norm to rally all of your supply, or all of your newly made units, all of your new supply, onto the one lowered supply depot. And it creates like almost like a natural buffer for any Zergling run-bys. Anyhow, the pushing continues over here. And this is all a little bit problematic. Serral is alive. Let's do a little bit of first-person view for him as well. He's alive. He's gone into the infestation pit. Hive begins right now. But what he doesn't have here is any, like, sort of Baneling speed upgrade. As a matter of fact, he's delaying Banelings. He may very well make a Baneling nest here in a moment, but the main goal is to just stay alive and defend against this. This little Zergling run-by could be nice, but look, there's that supply depot I was talking about. Not enough units available, though, because Clem just loaded up a few medevacs. They're probably headed across the map. That will be something that Serral will take note of as well. Yep, you can see it now on the minimap over at the 4th base. Infestors move on over in this direction, and this is good right here, though, for Serral. Getting the chain fungal down on those units. All right, that right there, as I take control of the camera again, is exactly why we have seen the Zerg players take infestors early. If you can chain fungal those units, they can't run away. Banelings you can micro against, but infestors with fungal growth, they inhibit any sort of movement ability. Meaning you cannot pick up the units that are fungal as a Terran player. Now, obviously, he did kill Marines. Marines are hardly the most expensive unit, and so far, it has been a very cost-efficient start still right here for Serral. But this has sort of like taken the wind out of Clem's sails a little bit. Adrenal glands coming up right now. We have the Zergling counterattack over at this 4th command center. The 4th command center, okay, does finish. It can lift off when it is fully done. In the meantime, there's a fight over here for the 5th base of Serral now. Both players trying to build up. Nice dodge right there of that. Fungal gets to infestors with the Widow Mine. And you know what? This is totally okay right here for Clem yet again. He didn't know of the infestors over at the 4th, right? Like, he just simply hadn't seen them. So he didn't anticipate having to micro against it. Now that Serral had spoiled the surprise by killing all of those Marines on the top section of the map, well, he's prepared. Nice exchange, though, yet again. Oh, the creep spread is going nowhere. That's a juicy scan over there, too. Getting all of those creep tumors killed is big. Ultra Cavern right now coming up for Serral. Adrenal Glands also, though, added into the mix. And that does mean that Clem needs to start transitioning towards a little bit of a better late-game army of his own. Oh, this is also so cheeky. Oh. Liberators do not have the vision to actually shoot any of the units within that circle anymore. So the circle does not provide vision for Liberators as of like the most recent patch. So there's a medevac joining in as well that does provide the vision. So the Liberator can shoot at its maximum range. I hate to say this to all the Serral fans out there, but Serral is getting outplayed. Clem is demolishing him in basically every way possible. Now, this is not GG yet, but Clem is like, he's like a mad dog, you know? He's like one of those crazy dogs that doesn't let go with an advantage like this. I never really see advantages like this slip out of Clem's fingers unless there's like a hidden base or something. We've seen that a couple of times. He had that recently against Rogue, where there was like a very obvious and very easy to snipe expansion. Oh no, this is bad. A very easy to snipe expansion from the Zerg, but Clem just never checked. So there was an entire extra base that Clem just didn't know of, and that allowed Rogue to get back into the game. But this is not going well right here for Serral at all. He doesn't have anything going for him, and he knows it. He decides to rip off the Band-Aid and GG. Next up, match point already. We find ourselves on the map Tourmaline. Clem establishing an advantage early in these games so far, and building on it. He's like an avalanche, man. When it starts, well, it's too late. You gotta prevent it from starting. Serral kind of enabled it in the first game, though, by opening up with a weird 2-base roach, right? And then in game number 2, he just never ended up getting the 3rd base up when he wanted it to. These are little advantages that Terrans can, build on, or they can just very quickly let those advantages slip out of their hands. But Clem just built on it beautifully, and he never really let go. Let's see what Serral can do, right? I think when Serral can actually start playing his game, he is an absolute monster. But so far, Clem has not really allowed it. I guess one of the downsides to Serral's playstyle is that he's very predictable. So maybe that's what he kind of tried to play around, right? In game number 1 with that weird 2-base start. But I don't know. It just... Yeah. I wonder if it's one of those strategies that, like, in practice, almost always wins. But then, you know, you're not practicing as against Clem. So what's the point, right? Like, you can sometimes try out your new strategies against, like, the top 10 players in the world. But there is a skill difference between, like, the 10th highest ranked Terran and then the number 1 Terran. It just isn't quite the same. All right, anyways. It's going to be a quick command center here on the low ground for Clem. He decides not to plant any barracks on the other side of the map. I don't think that would have been a bad idea. Maybe test out a little bit of a cheese, but it's not really Clem's playstyle. Tourmaline, though, has 3 different 3rd base locations that are all viable. On Winter Madness, you really only have 1. You could say that there's maybe a 2nd one, but there's this forward one that Zerg players are actually quite fond of. There's also this vertical one that is not bad. Triangle base, though, usually seems to be Serral's favorite. All right, let's see. Oh, Zergling Snipe is nice. He's waiting for the Queen. We do not have a drone out on the map, by the way, to really start up a 3rd base this time around either. So maybe just Serral giving up on that entirely. Is he going to fire up another Queen now? No, he's going to try and sneak out a drone at this point in time. But he knows there's an SCV. Reaper will try and make its way over there, but the zoning with the Queen is good enough. And I think we are going to see... Oh, Brenda! Brenda, get out of there! I think we are going to see a third hatchery start up at a reasonable time this time. Okay. Man, Brenda is trying her absolute best to help out her brood, but she is not designed to move off creep. Triple command center opener yet again right here for Mr. Clem, who decides to go for a double barrack start this time around. So, ooh, gets the creep tumor snipe. Brenda, the unluckiest queen of them all. This is, rather than a starport, this is a second barracks. Meaning that he will have, well, Stimpack done by like minute 5, but he will not have any cloak banshees or anything along those lines. Still a very solid defensive build as well. Most roach attacks will hit at about the 5-minute mark. So this Stimpack timing is basically designed to counter the most common roach-based openers. Now the starport will indeed begin. We can go into some medevac production eventually. Yep, he's going to add on a reactor. And then that one is going to switch over here with the factory momentarily. So 3 Marines at a time, and then also 2 medevacs at a time when the starport is done. In the meantime, though, the dancing is continuing. Serral goes for a pretty risky transfer. Yeah, Clem would have loved to shoot at those units with some flames. This is a more comfy start, though, for Serral this time around. Clem doesn't really have any real advantages. Getting the creep tumor snipe is nice, but that is something that is reasonably negligible. Serral sees now as well that this is a double Rex opener. Just by seeing the amount of Marines, he should be able to put 1 and 1 together. So he fires up a lair. Now, will we go Baneling Nest? He goes Baneling Nest against every other Terran, except Clem. Clem's micro, I guess, is just a little bit too good. If he didn't go for Banelings in the previous game, I guess it's safe to assume he won't take them here either. Double engineering bay right now, behind that mineral line for Clem. Third command center goes on down to the low ground. Clem is a bit of a beast. Not really somebody that we see brought up very frequently. Like whenever we... So one of the StarCraft community's favorite pastime is discussing who the greatest player of all time is. And I guess in a lot of people's minds, Clem is still like relatively new, quote unquote new. I mean, he's been playing and competing for many years at this point. And he's been ridiculously dominant. Like 2024 was phenomenal for him. Maybe not quite like Serral's 2018. Like 2018 for Serral was stupid. Like he basically won all of the stuff. Anyhow, this is some of the very best performance, though, that we have ever seen. I think Maru is better strategically than Clem. But I think in, like, raw power, Clem is just on another level. It's like nobody has ever played Terran like this. As I say that, obviously that's immediately when we have some of the worst micro that Clem has done in this series so far. That is the caster curse. Perfect timing for me. Serral actually decides to go +1 missile yet again. So this is actually a Hydra opener. Very curious. This is, yeah, we're going Baneling Nest right now, but this has been pure Ling up until this point. Now followed by Hydralisks. Yeah, the discussion of the GOAT is a fun one. It is always fun. I think one of the big things, though, is just the period of dominance, I suppose. And in that regard, guys like Maru are just on another level, right, compared to Clem. Like, he's just, yeah, Clem's just too young, I suppose. He's certainly not at the end of his career, though. He's been playing this game from what I remember. Like, he mentioned it at some point. I think he was like 8 years old when he first played this. It's kind of sick. Nice scan yet again. Gets rid of all the creep tumors. Fourth command center in the meantime is coming up. Second factory. We'll probably see barracks 6, 7, and 8 in a moment inside of the main base. And then we are actually, believe it or not, playing a macro game. This is exactly what Serral has wanted this entire series long. Like, he's been trying to get to this point. Yeah, maybe not so much in game number 1, although he was leaning in that direction again. Looks like the siege tank will end up... Ooh, living? No, just barely not. So many Hydralisks available now, though. 2-2 coming up here for Clem. 4th command center is going to move on over towards the middle. Perfect location, of course, for a planetary fortress. Serral is starting to spread a lot of that creep around the map. There's the barracks inside of the main base. I will say that Maru's bases are always a lot more aesthetic. Like, what is this? This is just the man planting down structures like it doesn't matter where they are. Usually Maru likes to build his stuff in little lines and like in very strict, you know. This is like a European city versus like an American city, you know, where the American cities are a lot more, they're a lot more, like they're laid out a lot more practically, I suppose. This right here, yeah, small town in France. I guess that makes sense. Anyways, we have a double attack once again. Clem's urban planning may not be too important to the outcome of this game. Maybe we should make a roundabout. Ooh! You know what? Speaking of roundabouts. World of trouble there. Serral actually manually detonating a bunch of his Banes on accident. What about this push over here? Serral, wakey, wakey. Ooh, okay. Get up. Get out of there. Alright. Not the cleanest execution here from the both of them, but acceptable. Triple tech lab inside of the main. We have the... Oh, okay, fusion core already. So this is a fusion core before a ghost academy. Serral, in the meantime, going into lurkers. Building up the hive. Clem wants to go for a push again, man. This base in the middle is always so tricky, right? We see this from Zergs repeatedly. They can never really seem to get this base up against Clem. No planetary fortresses available for the Zerg. Those Widow Mines, though. Yeah, betraying the Terran a little bit, too. Still, he's going to back up to him. The majority of the Zerg army, if not all of the Zerg army, is currently here. And that now opens up the opportunity for this medevac drop at the bottom to get some work done. Picks up yet again, leaves the Widow Mine behind. Clem also goes Ghost Academy on the back of this. He has fired up +3/+3. Serral has got the hive done, but he has not started up any hive upgrades yet. No Adrenal Glands, no 3/3, no Lurker upgrades. Ah, okay, we're gonna go into 4 Vipers. That's a good unit, but it will take a while before that will really swing into motion. And Clem's progression here is a lot smoother. This 3/3, he's on top of. 5th Command Center coming up. Advanced Ballistics, that's the Liberator ranged research. And so far, Serral hasn't really done any damage this game. Like, there have been a bunch of snipes, I suppose, but this has been... Like, the few losses on the side of the Terran have been due to Clem miscontrolling for just a sec. It's not so much... Like, obviously, it's Serral creating the opportunity. Oh, so beautiful. Zergling counterattack here yet again. Reinforcing Terran units, though, are going to be able to take care of it. Oh, he's still fighting over here, too. Now, there are some Lair-Tech lurkers here. Seismic Spines is finishing soon, but they don't have any upgrades yet. Gas is being taken over here on the upcoming base. Now, the Liberator count is growing. Ooh, so many low HP Marines, though. Yeah, I think it's time to go home, Clem. Clem wants to go in. He wants to get a Viper. He does get one right there for his troubles. Actually, did he? I thought I saw one falling. We have 3 Vipers. Wait, didn't we see one die just now? I don't see it on the unit's lost tab. Anyways, Zergling run by yet again over on the right side. Am I hallucinating? Is the sleep deprivation kicking in properly now? Oh, no. Oh, no. Caduceus Reactor coming up as well for Clement. Getting himself the medevac regen improvement. Still... Look, maybe this is not the path that Serral really wanted to walk, but he is going to arrive at full hive tech upgrades, at a good enough economy, and against a Terran who has not completely gobbled up their side of the map yet. I do like this position better for Terran across the board. But this is a position that Serral will be very comfortable with. The main lackluster thing here is the creep. Like, we don't really have creep. The upgrades here are a little bit delayed, but that's because he was favoring some more Vipers there. He's gonna get to full upgrades eventually, and I don't really think that Clem can go for a timing attack right now, although he's gonna test the waters. Oh, yo, he goes in and he snipes the base. There we go. Blinding Cloud and Transfusions will not save you. That was cheeky. Serral completely, caught off guard against it. Now, this Zergling run by, though, likewise, also gets a ton of damage done. Adrenal Cleanse, or the Adrenal Glance, rather, kicks in. That's a 40% attack speed improvement for those units. Oh, those medevacs need to get out, man. Where's the Vipers? The Vipers might be able to actually corner them. I mean, they're like one parabomb away from it being an absolute disaster. Yeah, the Vipers are going. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Or parabomb, parabomb, parabomb. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Now, you never know which of the medevacs are full. But this is pretty sweet. He actually has more energy available. I kind of feel like you should fish for as many as you can. Maybe he wants to save some energy in case the Liberators decide to get adventurous. Spire coming up right now here as well for the finisher. Zergling run by right over here at the front. Second factory in a little bit of trouble. Yep, and that's the majority now of those medevacs gone. That maybe Serral's out in this match. Like, it's not really been... another hatchery falls, but it's not really been going too smoothly for him. But getting like 5 medevacs killed like that is really big. Hatchery in the middle, though, gets denied once more. There is now a new base over at the bottom. Clem doesn't know it, but he can smell it. He is the hatchery whisperer. He knows where they are. He can see them coming in from a mile away. Advanced ballistics is kind of sweet, isn't it? Getting those Liberators sieged up. Not so bad. EMP? Ooh, I thought he was aiming for one. Yeah, he does get one in the end right there, but 2 abductions will complete. The problem is those Hydras are just not going to be able to fight this, man. The amount of Liberators up in the skies, it's just impossible for the Zerg player to engage. Now, Serral did go into the Spire. He is trying to go into some Corruptors eventually, I suppose. But up until that point, the Liberators are likely going to be dominating the air. Obviously, if you can slide the Hydras underneath, or if you can get some really good abductions. Clem, yeah, as a Frenchman, very excited about, the Liberté. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised, although I guess every Terran player loves those units. Ghosts now coming up, though, in bigger and bigger numbers. And he may very well need them, because we do still have a bunch of those lurkers out on the map. The dancing here in the middle is going nowhere. I think it's smart right there for Clem to back it up. Do we have any scans? We certainly do. And that'll be the end of the lurker shenanigans. Okay. Now, Clem's bank is down to just double digits. He doesn't really have a whole lot of money available. He also only has 4 orbital commands. This has been a much more aggressive game from Clem than you would see from, for example, Maru. We do have some Widow Mines apparently detonating, all right. Maru would be focused a lot more on getting that command center count up ASAP. Clem, in the meantime, is just trying to do that harassment, and I guess trying to get that eco advantage by reducing the economy of the opponent, which is another way to get the job done. Maybe a little bit more risky. But it is important here that Clem should not run out of resources. It's very easy for you to over-push, I suppose. Lose the units, make orbital commands, find out you don't have the money to actually replenish the army. Zerg can very quickly capitalize on something like that, but Serral likewise also not rich. I mean, he's just Hydraling Bane with some Vipers for support now. No Ultras, no Lurkers, no Brute Lords, none of that. Creep spread is still very mid. He just walked him over here. Only 2 drones in the end, actually. That's kind of unfortunate for Clem. Could have had a lot more. Does he know about the units hiding over here in the corner? You know what? Serral might be able to collapse on top of this army. He does have a lot of troops in multiple areas at once. I'm assuming we're gonna hit the army hotkey and indeed try to come in from every angle. Still, though, Clem seems to have sniffed it out just barely in the nick of time. He's going to lose a bunch of Liberators. That's a very expensive trade. A bunch of the Ghosts also end up going down. Serral pounces at the opportunity and chases these units down as quickly as he possibly can. Now it's pure Hydra, though, remaining. And while we can dash, I don't know if we can keep pushing. Liberator count will regrow very quickly. Getting a command center kill, though, over here is big. Burrow upgrade coming up as well, but I don't know if Serral can really, stay and fight. I think it's probably smarter for him to back up for a moment and wait for the reinforcements to arrive. Problem, of course, at that point is that, well, Terran is going to get a load of those too. Ultra Cavern now coming up. Okay. +3 melee finally is going to finish as well in about a couple minutes here for the finisher, but it is all a little bit, right? Like, we're talking 75 SCVs versus 67 drones. Gen Alpha going crazy right now. And I don't know. This is just not an economy that Zerg will be too fond of. Clem has got all the cards. He's getting out of command center, ready to move on over towards the 3 o'clock position. The medevac drops are still relentless. Jimmy! Alright, you should have ran towards that medevac, dude. Oh, medevac actually came back for you, but you're already dead. While this is going on, though, Clem is mounting another attack over here in the middle. And while we have some nice abductions available, yeah, that's a lot of Liberators. Yeah, you know what? No, I don't think Clem is going to let go of this. That's the problem. No, he's going in again, man. This hatchery may as well not be made. It's ridiculous. How many times has Clem killed this bad boy? Six hatcheries have died. I honestly think it's been like 5 kills over here and like 3 cancels. It's getting out of hand. In the meantime, we have that planetary, right? On the mirrored location. And that is making life so much better. Serral now adds in an Infestor. Okay. Viper, Infestor, Hydraulic Bane, Lurker, Ultralisk. Like, he's getting a little bit of everything. 60 drones, though. 60 drones. I mean, he's not all in. Don't get me wrong. But 60 drones feels extremely lackluster. Like, 60 drones with, like, a 10k bank. You can work with that. This many workers, though, and Hydraulic Bane? I don't think so. I don't have any faith. Clem, in the meantime, starts up another command center. Look at him turtling up this location brilliantly. Leaving around a few of those libs as well. Serral's gonna burrow all of his troops.
Your forces.
You don't know, but there are a lot of units burrowed underground. There goes Clem again, though. He knows that this hatchery is soon gonna be finished again in the middle of the map. He wants to go for snipe number 9. What about this one? Just like what we saw earlier on the left side of the map. Oh, okay. This time around, there are some Banes waiting. Some Hydra sliding around the back. He was hoping to get lucky, and just like he did over here previously, take out the hatchery before Zerg could get close. Now he pays the price, though. Those abductions are solid. Yeah, and that is like a dozen medevacs dying here throughout this game. Now, of course, the base in the middle. Clem is immediately going to snipe that while Zerg is distracted with some abductions. Serral wants to go for a counterattack, but I mean, this looks impenetrable. It's going to be double planetary, too. Well, if you want to clear it, you're going to have to do it soon, or you have to transition here towards Lurkers. The Liberator count, though, is growing again. The Ghosts are also coming up. We have 5 Liberators being produced at once. That's going to be 17 Libs. That's a lot of Liberté. Clem believes in equality as well for all Terran units. Not so much for the Zerg. The Fratinerte, I don't know what he's going to do with that. I guess that counts for the units themselves. Oh, yeah. This looks like a choke and a half on this base, though. This reminds me of the fights in the middle. There is a literal field of Liberators set up. Now there's also mines joining in the fray, and he's getting some good hits. Still, though, the Libs are being hit right here from the back. A little bit awkward. Terran army is trying to back up. We have a secondary fight happening as well in the upper left-hand corner. Looks like the Marauders are not quite attacking the hatchery itself, so the Zerglings will be able to take care of it. And this is now a lot of Liberators getting owned. Hatchery in the middle being retaken yet again by Serral. Hatchery in the upper left did, by the way, end up going down. Some Marauders here still getting the job done somehow. He must have been paying attention to that for just a moment. A few Libs working away at the workers here in the middle too. And look, this is... It's a slow kill, right? But it does feel inevitable. I mean, Serral's playing Hydraling Bane on 48 workers. Your micro can be as good as his. Your macro can be as good as his. But you just can't do anything with an economy that big. Clem has got all the cards in this match. Double planetary over here. He's now going to take the base in the far bottom right. This is Clem not so much going in for the win. This is Clem going in for the demoralization of the opponent, right? Like, this is mentally going to be a very big win at this rate. I mean, getting a 3-0 victory over Serral in general is big. But the fashion in which he's doing it is gonna live rent-free in Serral's mind. This is the game that Serral wanted to play. Clem let him breathe. We didn't get a macro game in game number 1 and 2. Clem still outplayed him. Now we get a proper macro game, aka Serral's normal killing rounds. This is where Serral is normally just the lord and master of the map. But Clem just destroyed him. I don't really have any nicer way to put it. Clem just absolutely destroyed Serral 3-0. And it wasn't even really close. GG.